But we want to let the shooters know every time you shoot somebody, we're going to respond. If you keep shooting, we're going to keep responding. And then I have to let the media know. No, we're not Lives Matter. So we're going to show everybody that Black lives does matter. We don't have to kill each other. There's many other ways. What happened to are letting us the casket? Because our people need to see that this coffin is real. And once you're in it, it comes with pain, and it comes with, this is no cartoon. You don't shoot people and see them in the next episode. This is real. This is real. And half of the people that shooting them don't got no damn money to run. You're broke. You cannot get on the run with EBT. You cannot run from the police. You cannot run. And I definitely want to thank NYPD for allowing us to do what we do. Wally, thank you. We're going to get started. We're going to march peacefully, quietly, and definitely I see them in the corner because I'm happy she's here. Ayana from the Office of Preventing Gun Violence who be busy, but she had to make it. You know, because she told me she was busy 4 times. And I wasn't going to accept this visit. I thank you for coming. So thank y'all. We're going to march this way on the sidewalk. And then we're going to ask NYPD to allow us to cross the street. Thank all of y'all for coming. Thank y'all. We just want this message to be clear that enough is enough. There's many reasons why this violence is spiking. I ain't going to talk about the conspiracy theory. I'm just talking about COVID. 2020. The whole 2020 needs to go to hell. The whole 2020. When I do my calendar with my sexy body, I'm going to have 2019, 2021. I ain't taking no pictures for 2020. There's nothing happy about 2020. I don't want to remember 2020. Absolutely, I got a mask. So, but thank y'all so much. Alicia, the brothers are going to march with you. The brothers are going to march with you. Absolutely. And we are going to start deploying ourselves this way. I want to thank all of y'all, I really do. I want to thank SIBO for coming to Brownsville. Appreciate you. All right, everyone. We're going to start. We're about to end this, but right now, Van Dyke houses, I know you can hear us. Brownsville houses is right there. Farm now. I want to thank Operation Hood. Brad was out here, crisis management. Ayana from the Office to Prevent Gun Violence. This is a reality, and I know it's going to make people uncomfortable, but it made me uncomfortable when we see a 1-year-old baby get shot. Give me the names of people in Brownsville that have died in the 73rd precinct behind you. We just want to thank
Let me start by thanking Brother Anthony Knowles and the beloved community for standing tall, for being courageous in the face of so much violence and adversity. There's violence in our neighborhood, there's violence on Capitol Hill, there's violence across this nation. But we're here to say that where there is life, we are going to stand for life. And as long as we are living, we are going to spread love in our communities. And we are going to be bold and audacious enough to say to our sisters and brothers, put the guns down. We are saying, any of our community that is gunned down, we are gunned down too. And until we remove these guns from our streets, we are going to stay in these streets. It's not enough to say that Black Lives Matter if we don't take the time to say to each other that Black Lives Matter. That Black Lives Matter. It's not enough to condemn the police department when we see things go sideways and a life is taken with no remorse if we don't stand up in our own community and say to our young brothers, stop the violence, turn in the guns, because we have had enough. And certainly there are people who are in high places that would like to see us exterminate the life out of each and every one of us. And that's why they're not sending the resources we need. They're watching, praying every day that we take one another out. That our mothers will continue to grieve and be undervalued because our children, our young ones, have forgot how to respect their own community. So today we march for those mothers that continue to weep, that have lost their children to senseless gun violence. Today we march because we have in high places individuals who don't see us in our humanity. But I want to ask you a question as I leave this stage. Do you believe in your own humanity? Do you believe in your own humanity? And if you do, then we will stay in these streets. We will knock on every door. When we see a neighbor in distress, we will comfort them and walk them wherever they need to go to be safe. It is time for us to turn the page, because we come from a people who have come this far by faith. That's all we had. That's all we had. I went to Ghana with the members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Ghana was one of the gateways that were used to kidnap, brutalize, kill our people. You all are the survivors. Millions were killed. Millions. And here we stand today, descendant of those who made it through. Yet we don't value the sacrifice that they made for us, the courage it took to go through 400 years of slavery for us to be the survivors. And so to each and every one, keep that courage up. Be bold and audacious. Our journey is not over. And we have the power to make the difference and make the change. May God bless you. May God strengthen you. May God keep you in the battle for righteousness, for humanity. Because indeed, enough is enough. God bless.
Don't forget, if everybody can just put your hands out like this, give yourself space and cover your face. Give yourself space and cover your face. You could just do 4 feet. You know, we kind of big people. Just spread your arms and 2 steps back, 2 steps to the left. Please, please. Borough President.
Thank you, Bebo and Anthony Newell and all of the CMS team as you go out and do the real work on the front line. I'm just here to be that supporting cast to give you what you need. As the Congresswoman eloquently put it, it's about how do we get those resources on the ground. So I thank you. The number of retaliatory shootings that you're able to stop, the number of real communications on the ground is just so important. And, you know, partnering with Sister Alika and Latrice, the Assemblywoman and the councilperson, that's the type of teamwork that we need to make sure that this happens correctly. So again, brother, thank you for what you're doing, and all of you, SOS. I see some brothers and sisters from the Bronx that's here, Harlem, walking and speaking with my brother from Exodus to deal with our brothers that are coming home. It's just a combination of all of us coming together and make sure we resolve this violence in a real way. You're not picking up a steel gun if you have a steel hammer in your hand with a job. So it's about making sure people have those resources that are needed. Peace and love and blessing, and I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. A couple of you here speaking, everybody gonna speak. BCJC, thank you for the water stations. By the time I was about to pass out and I seen BCJC water station, it lifted me up. I knew water was coming. Thank you, BCJC.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say thank you so much to all of the cure violence groups out here, the crisis management system, the NYPD, all of the community. Condolences, and I love you all, to the mothers out here who have lost their children. I see you all. I see you out here. I see you in our offices. I see you in your apartments. And this is a shame that we got to sit here and go through this every single week. And the fact that we walk through Brownsville and every single corner we know somebody that was killed, and on every single corner a mother had to talk about the death of her child, and that's just crazy. You know, I'm 44 years old, born and raised here in Brownsville. When I was 15, my best friend Sharon was shot and killed in Howard houses, and I'm like, it's 30 years later and we still going through this. And I just want to say, the other day we saw the FBI surveillance van driving through Brownsville, right? And this was before we saw the Instagram video in Glenmore, right? We saw that van driving up and down Rockaway. And we know that there's an agenda. We know that there's an agenda on our lives. We know that there's an agenda to take away our communities. And so if we don't get it together now, I don't know what it's gonna take. Because going upstate to do a bid, right? Where's my Assemblywoman? We talk about this, right? Going upstate is different. We know about that ride going upstate to go visit a loved one. But doing a bid during Fed time, I don't know how many visitors you're gonna get in Iowa and Wisconsin and everywhere else, right? Not saying that you're supposed to, we're supposed to be making that trip up north. That's crazy too, right? But we see FBI out here in Brownsville now. And so that's real. And so I just want to say that we're going to do everything that we possibly can in the office of the New York City Council, in my office, but I need for the community to be doing everything that they can as well. And so we need to love ourselves. We need to talk to our kids. We need to, our children. We need to make sure that we going through their book bags. We need to make sure that we having a real conversation with them, because this is a time for us to be real with each other and real as a community. So I love you all, and I'm here and I'm sick of it. Enough is enough.
My sister, like, they got some things up in them book bags. And I'll never forget that day I was talking to one of my girlfriends. And I said, oh, well, I know you was getting married. When's the wedding? Oh, we're not getting married no more. Well, what happened? I was looking through his phone, and I saw so-and-so and so-and-so in his phone. I was looking through his pants pockets. He had another chick number in his pants pocket. I was looking through his Instagram. He messing around with some chick in social media. I was on his Facebook page, Facebook stalking. So I had to shut the wedding down. And so that same energy that this sister was talking to me with, if you had just taken a half an ounce of that energy to go through your son's Instagram page, your son's pants pockets, your son's Facebook Facebook page, your son's cell phone, your son's book bag. We might not have had the number of deaths in our community that we had. So I want to do a little message to the women in our community, right? Because a lot of times we put a lot of resources in the men and in the young men, but we don't put nearly enough resources in growing up our women who are going to be the mothers in these communities, who are going to have to bury these children, or who are going to have to get on those buses to go upstate Wisconsin, Buffalo Avenue to Buffalo, New York. So we need to wrap our arms around our sisters. They got a My Brothers Keeper movement, but where is the My Sisters Keepers movement? And I know that we lost a lot of babies out here. My brother was 19 years old, madman, when he was murdered in Marcus Garvey in front of 10 Amboy and passed out and fell out in front of 1400. He was 19. I was 7. His sons are now 32, 33 years old. They had to live a whole life growing up, trying to strive, trying to make it happen in a community without a father. Not because his father didn't want to be here, but because some dude decided that he wanted to take my brother's life. Not only did it take my brother's life, not only did it affect his 2 twin sons or his little sister, where a part of my story, when people ask me, well, what made you decide that since you were from Brownsville, you were from the projects, how did you make it? How did you make it? Because I had a community of brothers that when I was walking to school at PS 178, they made a safe passageway for me to be able to walk to school. I didn't have no problems. When I was hungry, I loved ham and cheese heroes. I did, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I know the brothers are here, but I did. But these brothers would provide food for me when I was hungry. Someone said to me the other day, you know, how do you feel safe? I have never felt safe in no other place as safe as I feel in Brownsville. This is my home. This is a community that poured into these 2 sisters who looked at each other from years ago and said, can you imagine if we could grow up and be lawyers and come back and represent our community? And that's exactly what we did. And we didn't do it by ourselves. We did it because we were protected and connected to a neighborhood that cared about not only our future, but the future of each and every one of us. And so the village, the Browns village that created us is the same village that we are going to need in order to make sure that we are not burying another child, whether they're from 8 to 80. Dumb? I'm sorry, I'm just home. And so we did that. You know, Mr. Chandler back in the days, he had me make up this rap. I worked on this rap with Keir Nelson, and I keep moving it. I keep making it into all kind of different things. But I'm gonna try to do something right now. Gun violence is something that we don't need in order for us to succeed. In life, the streets almost everywhere. Leave all the people that don't really care. The killers, the bangers, the busters, and the shooters. We'll turn them into nothing but just plain losers. So gain some knowledge and make it last. Live your life slow, don't live your life fast. Knowledge is fun and determine the lives of those who learn and knew how to strive. So stay alive and stay in school. Don't do drugs and don't be no fool. Peace. I'm Assemblymember Latrice Walker.
Minister Henry, you up next, but I have a special, come on up, Minister, but I have a special person that's going to go before you, Minister. He asked me, can he speak? And I know you won't mind. Come on up, little brother. He said he wanted to have something to say, man. I'm just so sorry. I got to break protocol.
All right. So basically what I wanted to say was, people, they think that guns is the strongest weapon. You got hands. You got family on your side. You can't always rely on a gun to save your life. That isn't what you do. That isn't what we see. Every day we see people leave these little communities. Everybody die. Well, basically I saw somebody die when I was 10. It was by my window. I was crying because it was one of my friends. And I noticed that the deepest way to love is to love for somebody else. And if you don't love for nobody else, how you gonna love for yourself? And everybody's saying that they could defend themselves, but really how it goes when somebody else. Because look, this is what my dad told me. The white man doesn't want to see us succeed. He want to see us die and live a good deed, but that's not how we gonna do. Everybody go deep. We got drugs, we got killers, we got different type of people that don't care about us. But y'all got children, y'all got money. Y'all got fathers, y'all got grandmothers, y'all got great-grandmothers. I lost my great-grandmother and I didn't even see her. I did not even see her. And what I wanted to say basically was, keep succeeding in life and you'll never know what will come next. If you, well, you'll never know what will come next if you don't give up. And God always will have your prayer.
Let's break protocol for that, Minister. I'm sorry. All right.
Thank you, brother. You can break protocol for that. That's our future. That young brother's our future. Give him another well-deserved round of applause. That's why we out in these streets. That's why we do what we do. Beginning all things in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I'd like to greet you all in the greeting words of peace and paradise. We say in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. For those of you who may not understand that term, that's why I said it's peace and paradise. Because everyone, you know, if we say good morning or good afternoon or good night, everyone's not having a good morning. Everyone's not having a good night. Everyone may not be having a good afternoon. But in the midst of your downs and your ups, or your ups and your downs, we hope that you have peace. Because if we can have peace and contentment of mind, we can make it through the night. Is that right? We can make it through the mornings. Because down is only down with a down attitude. I'm Brother Henry Muhammad. I'm a student minister of the Teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Brooklyn representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I thank God for our brother Anthony Newell and for his work and cure violence work with Brownsville In, and your guns out, violence out. We want to get the guns out to stop the violence, is that right? But enough is enough. I thank God for our Congresswoman that just stepped up here and spoke to us. Come on now, let's give it up for her again. All praises due to Allah. I mean, her words was right on point. Our sister Alika Samuels, our councilwoman, our sister assemblywoman, our state assemblywoman, our sister Latrice Walker, we thank God for them. Our brother Eric Adams, the borough president of Brooklyn. If you notice, you've seen all of us come up here. And they look like us, and they're representing us. We have what it takes to deal with governing our own. We do have what it takes to deal with governing our own, family. And how many times will we come together based off of death? When we say enough is enough, it makes me think of Harriet Tubman. You know, it makes me think of those heroes and sheroes that stood for us because they were sick and tired of being sick and tired. How many of you are sick and tired of being sick and tired? See now look, I come representing God. I ain't got no flowery words for you. I'm not dealing from the politics level, even though politics is good. But I represent a God that is the creator and that man that's connected to the creator, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I say it from this aspect, brothers and sisters, God is not going to change our condition until we change ourselves. We got to change our heart. We got to change the heart of our thinking. I just want to give some real talk because I'm a brother just like you. Came up through the neighborhoods just like you. I don't want to say hood, neighborhood. When sister spoke, she mentioned about, thank you brother, I'm going to need that back as soon as I get off this mic. When sister spoke, she talked about a village raising the children. Is that right? That's how I came up 35 years ago. The village raised us. I mean, can I get real with you just for a moment? The brothers that was in the hood, and when a sister mentioned about going upstate, I worked in the state prisons as a chaplain for the Nation of Islam, 5 state prisons. I done did time with a lot of brothers and watched a lot of brothers come home off of mistakes they made growing up in the hood just like I was coming up. I just didn't get caught out there and God got me at the right time. But there was brothers in the hood that when we was doing crazy stuff in the neighborhood, there was those older ones that would come around, catch us in the hallway, cramp up our legs, cramp up our arms, cramp up our chest and say, yo, you don't do that around here. Is that right? Right. What happened to that? See, that's a missing piece. that left the other young ones coming up behind them out there frustrated and saying, look, I'm going to do it the way I need to do it. Homeboy ain't here, so I'm going to get my rep. But this rep that we're trying to get, at the root of it, family, is really a lack of knowledge of self. It's really a lack of knowledge of God. We think we know, but we don't act on what we know. So the self-hatred is there. What would make a brother put a gun in his hand and be able to come to smoke another brother? Oftentimes it's because we have a beef or a conflict with each other that we ain't settling out because we didn't learn how to settle conflict in the household. We just got to be real about it. Settling conflict in the household is not me smacking you up, sending you to your room and don't speak for you for the rest of the day. That's not conflict resolution. That is not conflict resolution, but we can't blame each other because it's been generation after generation of the same thing. And so I'm not here to put nobody down, but what I am here to tell you that you're people of royalty. You come from the Creator. It's already written about you in the scriptures that you and I would come through ancestors that go through this for 400 years being despised and rejected. In a strange land among a strange people. We didn't come here on no Nina Pinta Santa Maria, is that right? We didn't come here on no Mayflower. We came here through our ancestors in the holes of slave ships. But God, I'm saying God allowed it to happen. And so we can't blame the white man. We got to ask God, why did you allow us to go through this? The judgment that everybody talks about but don't want to bring to the forefront. It didn't happen thousands of years ago. That's going on right now as we speak. That's why we masked up right now. Everybody want to go through all these conspiracies of China and this, that, and the other. What does God have to do with all of this? What does Allah have to do with all this? What does Jehovah have to do with all this? What does the Supreme Being have to do with all this, brothers and sisters? Because when you have something like this taking place around the whole world, then know that God is involved, brothers and sisters. God is involved. And what is it? It's a pestilence. Minister Farrakhan said he's using a pestilence to get rid of the pestilence. Those of us that are sitting here living our lives, talking out of the side of our neck like we really living right, but behind closed door living funky as hell, but then want to condemn the brother that shoots the next brother, want to condemn the sister that's calling her own sister a B, but in home, mom's calling you a B. At home, mom's saying she's a B. At home, dad is going ahead and he's womanizing. He got one here, there, and the other. And then we want our children to grow up and be right and exact. Hell no, that ain't going to happen. So some of us got to take the blame for this. The violence started with us. So if enough is really enough, then we got to get in the household and set everything that ain't right out of sight. Come on now. Lay down the law. Let the lion roar in the household first. We know who's carrying the guns. I ain't going to sit up here and say, put your guns down, and then people come in the community with guns and kill you. That'd be a setup. But know for a surety, as the Congresswoman said, there's people at the top that has been setting us up for the slaughter. Setting us up for the slaughter. All that's going on is part of a setup, part of a bigger scheme to make sure that young brothers who are warriors that don't care about nothing and don't fear nothing, make sure that you get out of the way because they're afraid. The scripture says it like this, and I'm going to jump off. When the children of Israel was being looked at by Pharaoh in the book of Exodus, they said among themselves, come, look, the children of Israel are multiplying. Let us deal wisely with them before they join on to an enemy of ours and come against us. Let us kill their male and spare their female. You don't see that happening among us? It's been happening generation after generation. Make sure the black man don't get a job. Make sure the black man gets so frustrated he drop out of school. And then he don't have nothing to do but make sure there's things in the community of the underworld that he can get a hold to. It's a trap, man. It's a spider web. And spiders only in their web only catch lightweight creatures. Minister Farrakhan's been among us for 43 years, giving us heavy knowledge and giving us an example. And I know, I mean, look, y'all don't, and I mean you, they don't want to announce us. They don't, who do you see in the hood? There you go. We come from you, brothers and sisters, because we love you. We don't step to you in no arrogant way or nothing. Whether you got a gat in your waist or not, it doesn't matter to us. We are fruit of Islam. We're not security. We secure the God in you until it comes out of you and you become like us. That's why we're here. We ain't here for no other reason. Ain't no damn paycheck to this. We don't get no bread. We don't get no loan. But yet we do work. And I'm not saying it in arrogance. Our work speaks for itself. We came from the Avenue. We came from Pickett. We came from Rockaway. We was on Nostrand. We was on Bushwick Avenue. And we heard a word at a time when we were sick and tired of being sick and tired, that connected to our soul. That somebody articulated to us what we didn't know how to say out our mouth, but we felt it deep down in our heart. And that's why I say, man, we're flesh of each other's flesh and bone of each other's bone, man. We love you, but there's a new thing going on. The 400 years is up. America's never going back to normal. So if you're looking for normal, it ain't happening. God is changing this thing up.
Say that.
And you know when a new nation is about to come to birth, sisters, those of you that had babies, you know, went through fainting and pain and labor, and then that water broke.
Come on.
And then there was blood. You see a lot of blood going on, right?
Yeah.
God is starting to purify things. But he's not trying to kill you. He wants you and I to straighten our lives up. Look into our heart and see about the wrong we've been doing, and go into our closet and confess to whatever God you know about your own wrong. Don't tell your homeboy, don't tell your homegirl, go to your God. Confess your wrongs and then strive to learn a way not to do it anymore. But ask the God to give you the strength to do it. It ain't easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But you was chosen for this. I don't care what you did yesterday. I'm talking about right now. All that can be forgiven because you was chosen for this. But brothers and sisters, if we don't straighten up, God says in the scripture, since you love to shed blood, I will give you your own blood to drink, and it will be as sweet wine. We'll get drunk off of killing one another. It seems like killing each other has become a culture in the black community. That's not our culture, man. But it seems like it's become a culture. So God will send, and just as it was in the scripture, when they didn't want to listen to Moses and Aaron, he sent fiery serpents after them. Minister Farrakhan said the fiery serpents are angry white people. So you play with this if you want to. Yo, get brother.
Who there?
This is heat, brother.
Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. I came today because not only did I grow up in this community, not only did I went to the school in this community, but I'm tired of going to funerals in this community.
Amen.
I'm not going to call it black on black crime because there's crime all over this city. But it's us killing us.
The most. Right.
We can't talk about the police and the police killing us if we don't deal with our own issues in our own backyard. As much as I'm hard on the police, I'm hard on us. And I brought today Sanford Rubenstein, who you have seen on the TV dealing with police issues. But he wanted to come today to deal with the issues that affect us. Let's give a hand to Attorney Sanford Rubenstein.
You know, many of you may see me on TV, but I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the Ravenswood housing projects in Queens. So I feel that those of us who work in civil rights, who fight for the rights of individuals, need to stand up against gun violence. And what do we need to do? We need to enforce the existing laws to the hilt. We need to ban assault weapons, and we need to enforce the requirements for registration for those who buy and sell guns. This is important. This scourge of violence in NYCHA must stop.
Y'all can give them a hand. Y'all can give them a hand. Violence out. Before they receive a dime from the city, they were doing the work. So let's give them a hand. It's about not only this organization, but Brownsville Think Tank Matters, MEL, Elite Learners. These organizations was doing the work way before they received money from the city. And they got to understand, we were dealing with coronavirus with our left hand. We were dealing with police brutality with our right. And we also had to deal with violence in our community with both our feet. So we had it all done with every fiber of our being to fight different viruses on every level. So we must continue to not just beat up the police, but beat us up when we are wrong. If you know somebody got a gun in your house, tell them to take the gun to the precinct. No question asked. Call. Don't be scared of your children. You birth your children. These are somebody that you birth in this earth. But these are organizations that you can call when you have issues in your home. You don't have to wait till the police do it. We can do it ourselves. Thank you very much. God bless you. Make sure you love yourself and stop the violence.
Don't cry and don't be long, and put your mask on and wipe your hands. Thank you. This is what we're talking about. Mello, stay right here so I can see you. And then Shanice, please, you know.
That part. Hotep, everybody. Hotep. That means peace be unto you. My name is Shaniqua Purvis. Everybody know me as Coco. I'm from Bed-Stuy. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really come to Brownsville. No, I did not. I had a boyfriend in Brownsville, but that was about it. We were scared to come to Brownsville, just like y'all was scared to come to the stop. But at the same time, yeah, whatever. Anyway, right now I could go to any hood and preach this message and tell everybody what it feels like to have somebody lost. What it feels like when you turn your sister over and blood comes out her head from a gunshot coming through the window. I can tell you what that feels like. Sitting in her bedroom watching a game, a football game, and a bullet comes through the window that sounds like a firecracker. I can tell you what that feels like in any hood. I can tell you the dangers and the jokes that we had living on the first floor. Every time gunshots went off, we laughing, oh, get on the floor, everybody duck down. But out of 10 shots, one of them hit my sister that sounded like a firecracker. And just like you, sis, that one bullet turned into 1,000 fragments where she couldn't be saved. So please, this here is not a joke. This is not nothing to play with. This is what we go through. I can work anywhere. I don't have to work here. I don't have to do this job. I do this job because it's my life. People put on these shirts and wear these IDs and they get their check and they good. Not me. Not me. This is 24-hour day, 7 days a week. Everybody looking at that clock. What time we leaving? What time we go home? There is no clock for me. There is no clock. Because I do not want no family to go through what my family goes through. No family. Just like this sister right here. You don't want nobody. This is why we do this work. This is why we outside. This is why we in your face. This is why you could call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm there to get your son out the precinct. This is why you could call me 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm stopping a whole brawl. This is why you could call my phone at 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm sitting with the police and the community boards trying to figure out how do we stop this. I don't care what part of the globe you go on. There's always 4 things. Cops, hospitals, schools, church. Oh, 5, us, people. Anywhere you go, there's nowhere on the globe that there's not these 5 things. So if you know that, then we should all know that without a community, and no unity, it's not gonna work. So we need to take these 5 entities and work together for us to be a community. That's what we need to do. We want our brothers and sisters, we want our children to be able to come outside. We want our elderly to be able to come outside. I'm walking through Brownsville, and I ain't been out here in a minute, but I'm seeing cages. This looks like cages. There's like like tables, chairs, and then it's a whole cage, like it's a lounge or something. What is this? Look like a caged-in lounge. What, like, nobody is going to their community board meetings and changing this? Like, this is okay with y'all? You ain't going to Bed-Stuy and see no shit like that. I'm in the community boards meetings like, what the fuck? Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, y'all have a voice. Everybody out here has a voice. Just like you could be an OG and tell a nigga to pick up a gun and shoot somebody, you could go in a meeting and say, yo, this is unacceptable. My people feel like they caged in our own hood. What's going on? Everybody sitting here thinking this shit is cute. I don't think it's cute. That's disgusting. I never seen nothing like that in my life. And this is your hood. This is your neighborhood. This is your community. We have community boards. How many people know what their community board number is? You in this political war, shut up. How many people know who their community board number is in their community? Anybody go to the precinct meetings? All right, that's your problem right there. Find out what your community board number is. Go to these meetings because these people can't do nothing without you. If you don't say nothing, if they won't do nothing. They got money in us separating from each other. We don't like the cops, so there come me. Now I'm paid to keep everybody mediated. They don't like the gangbangers or they don't like people in gangs. Everybody in gangs are not killers. Everybody in gangs are not killers. They looking for family. They looking for protection that they can't get at home. I say to these police too, in my neighborhood, I make them do stuff. I don't care. I'm making you. Because this is my community. It's my house. I'm making you. So what I told them to do is, you know how they be having these little bouncy houses and little rock walls and little food and stuff they give to the community? Yeah, that's cute. I want mobile units where you could go in that mobile unit and say, yo, I lost my ID. No problem. Come here. I'll get you one. I need mobile units where I need a job. Oh, wait. Hold on. There go the mobile unit right there. Go ahead. Go in there and get it. I need a mobile unit. I lost my birth certificate and social security card. Guess what? They got a mobile unit for that too. Because you want us to get jobs if we don't have no IDs. Everything is a setup. Everything is set up for us to fail. You give us summer jobs. You give our kids summer jobs. But if they don't got no ID, or if they don't got no birth certificate, social security, how they getting these jobs? I had to download like 10 pay stubs for my daughter. I don't want y'all in my business like that. But that's, a lot of parents are not responsible enough to do that. And that's why they choose gangs. Because they need a home. They feel like they want family. Everybody appreciates somebody. Everybody loves somebody. And nobody wants somebody to take away somebody that they love, yo. My sister, she passed away in 2002. She got 2 grandkids right now that she can't see. And another thing too, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. A lot of people carry on these beefs too because somebody was murdered. Somebody was killed. So the first thing they say is, nah, it's too late, Coco. They killed my mans. It's over. Done. No mediation. Well, I'm here to tell you that's bullshit. Because at the end of the day, not only did my sister lose her life and my family is in turmoil, the person who murdered her family is in turmoil. And if that person murdered that person on purpose, they all the way messed up. Because they not coming home. They have no life. I'm going to tell you how serious I am about this work. The person who murdered my sister, he did 15 years. It was manslaughter. It wasn't meant for. It was a straight bullet. Education. Came home in 15 years. 14. He came home and he wanted to see me because he heard what I do and he wanted to change his life. And I've battled with myself a lot, talking to him, seeing him pop bottles, have babies outside, and my sister can't. But But at the end of the day, if I can help him, I can help everybody. So, with that being said, when people say, oh no, he killed, it's all trauma. It's all trauma. We all going through shit. And we need to cling on to ourselves and find out what we want to do for ourselves. Stop blaming everybody else. I want to give y'all some homework when y'all leave here. Don't say you just went to a march. Don't say you just went to a rally and heard a bunch of stuff and videotaped it. Oh, I was in a march. No. I need you to find a person that wasn't here and educate them on everything that you heard. That's how we help our communities. Each one teach one. Y'all here, so y'all not the killers. Y'all not the shooters, y'all here. We need you to go and talk to the shooters. We need y'all to go talk to the people that's in turmoil. We need to talk to the people that's hurting, that's messing up our community. So I need y'all to do that. And first, before you even do that, look in yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what legacy do I want to leave? What am I doing to help my community as a person? Me, don't be dick riding. What are you doing?
Say that.
What are you doing as a person? Don't do what everybody else is doing. What are you doing as a person to help your community? Find that out. Thank you.
Thank you, Coco.
So there's bound to be problems in our community. There's bound to be problems in our community. 400 years of slavery, 400 years of being beat down and told that we were no good. We're only like 2 grandparents away from slavery. So there's bound to be problems in our community. So today I just wanted to say a few words from one of my heroes, Dr. Martin Luther King. He said, but there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force.